Hey Saber fans, welcome back. This is Adam from Force Sabers. Really excited to bring this awesome saber here to you. This is a Ultra Sabers Manticore I just redid. Now I did this one for Semz Nerd. He's a brother over on the other side of the ocean over in the UK. If you haven't seen his video, check it out. I'm going to link it in the description and his channel as well. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. He's a really cool dude. Posts some awesome content. So he sent me this saber. Now this is one of his original sabers that he bought from Ultra Sabers. He really beat it up over time, clashing around, playing with it, so he had a great time with it, and he gave me the honor and entrusted me to make this and redo this saber for him, so I'm greatly honored to be able to do this for you. So thank you very much. I'm going to use your name, Simon. Hopefully you don't mind me using that. But I just wanted to give you a shout out, and I wanted to thank you before I jump into this, and I hope I did this Manticore justice for you and that you really enjoy it. So with the Manticore, this is actually one of my favorite sabers that Ultra Sabers makes. I have one of my own that I've redone, repainted. I've done a couple other ones. You can check those out in the videos that I have, and then I've even done a couple more after that. Just because I love the saber so much, just the whole entire design of it, the emitter coming off of a Darth Maul type of design, and then just the whole entire thing. So before we get into this, I wanted to cover a couple things with this saber that I had to do to actually make it work. So one of the big things that Simon wanted installed into this is he pretty much gave me carte blanche with what to do with the outside of it as far as the design, the color, the weathering. He said just go ahead, man, do what you can with it, beat it up, make it super cool. So, and I really appreciate when people do that, because it just kind of gives me carte blanche to do whatever I want with it, and it allows me to be creative with it. So I really appreciate that. But one of the hard things with this is because if you're familiar with Ultra Sabers, their hilts are definitely bigger in diameter. So with a bigger diameter on the outside becomes a bigger diameter on the inside. So what we needed to do is I needed to come up with something to be able to fit my Proffie chassis in this, the 1-inch chassis that I've been using in a couple of the other builds I've done recently. So I wanted to incorporate that into this, because one of the things that Simon likes is he likes his Neopixel blade, so I really wanted to incorporate that into this. Originally I was going to put a CFX into it with a in-hilt LED, but that wasn't good enough. I really wanted to give him a Neopixel saber with the Proffie, and actually found out that he doesn't even have a saber with a Proffie, so that's even a bonus. That'll be able to provide that for him as well. Has all my custom blade styles I loaded up on this with some additional sound fonts that I've made. But one of the issues I had was that it actually uses this LED housing, which kind of fits perfectly into this. I see why they use it, because it has this bigger diameter here on the outside, and then slides in on the kind of on the top here and fits on a little ledge in there. It floats around, it jiggles. If you've seen his video where he shakes the saber around, it gives this jiggle on the inside, and you hear a little bit of clanging. That's pretty much this is kind of clanging around here on the inside. So had to get rid of that, but also had to figure out, okay, now how can I make this work with the 1-inch Proffie board. So what I came up with was a design to fill up the interior of the saber, and as well as be able to fit the 1-inch chassis in here as well. So I designed and 3D printed some pretty simple spacers on the inside, so you can see the chassis there in white, and then the spacer is around it, and now it fits in there perfectly, locks into place. So now it's a good retention, super easy to remove, so you have access to the battery. And then it also too, one of the things I had to figure out is how to make it perfectly centered within the saber, because with the blade that inserts in, you need directly in the center, so it lines up with the pogo pins, which are all the way down there, as you can see. And so that was something I needed to figure out as well. Also, with the blade into the saber, you need to figure out how to make sure that was enough blade length into the saber to have the windows, and then so you get this nice 3-inch blade depth into the saber now. So it's really in there secure, which is nice with the Neopixel blades, so because they are a little bit heavier. And then we down to the switch here, had to be able to line that up as well. So actually everything is now locked into place with the retention screw, which is on the back side, which locks the chassis in there as well. So it really worked out well with the design. Definitely something now I can use in the future as well. So as you can see, no noise, no shake or anything like that, so everything's locked into place. So as I said, I have the Proffie 2.2 board in here, or Proffie board. It comes with the full Neopixel setup with all my blade profiles, and I think I have 24 sound fonts loaded up on this. So what I wanted to do is I really like this bronze weathered effect that I did, so let's jump into how it looks and what I did with this. So up here at the emitter, he said he wanted some weathering in here, so I definitely wanted to put a little more weathering here. Nice big cut up here on the top side. Have some cool blue, as you can see here, and it really fades down from the top. You can see up here on the edge where the cut is into the emitter area. And this is a great emitter too because it's nice and thick, so it allows you to really get the Dremel in there and make some nice decent size cuts. Smooth it all down so you don't have any jagged edges. Have the nice cool bronze look up here with the black. Did a little more sanding down to reveal some of the chrome look. And then busted out the airbrush for this one. Just really wanted to put a lot of tones of colors in here to fade it in. So you have the blue, you have some silver, you have some gold, and it's just very slight touches, but it really brings it out. As you can see, kind of this transition as it switches kind of through the light. As I rotate it here, you'll see a bit of that transition. And then of course you have the bronze undertone underneath. You have our blade retention screw. Added some genuine black leather wrap up here just to give it a little different detail, a little different dimension, and it's super soft there as well. Coming down, this is the retention screw for the chassis. So this actually had full sound in here. Had one of Ultra Sabers soundboards, and also had on the back side here a recharge port. So we had to cover up that hole, so made this little, just I don't know what you want to call it, just a design to kind of cover the hole here. Painted it to match the whole saber as well. We have a custom magnetic switch that goes with the Proffie all-in-one chassis. Did a couple of sanding techniques on this one. Different grades of sandpaper to get all these kind of sweeping weathered looks here all around. Now down to the grip area. So I've done something similar to this in the past. When you add a leather onto an Ultra Saber hilt, it really makes it thick, so I don't like that. So I came up with this this wrap that I do. So this is nice and thin, really has a great texture to it. And then also too, the way it's wrapped, you have this this groove on the back where your hand can kind of grab. Really has a great tactile feel to it. Just think it works out really well with these sabers, and then still, as you can see, keeps it nice and thin too, so it doesn't add a whole lot of thickness to it, which is great with these. Switched out the, I really love the way this looks too. And of course with the damage too, I always try to keep it where I do the Dremel work as well. So it just kind of fits with the design. Switch out the pommel, so this is not your standard Manticore pommel. Got this at the custom saber shop. These are always a little bit better, a little bit thinner. I think you get better resonance with them. Also gives you a little bit of flexibility to be able to move the chassis. Not so much with this one, but you really don't need to because it's a pretty loud saber as it is. And so, I don't know if I mentioned, the chassis is all removable, so if you just remove this retention screw right here, undo the pommel, give it a little tap, the whole entire chassis moves out so you have access to the battery to recharge. You can use the recharge port if you like, but you also can get access to the SD card and all that stuff too. So let's fire it up here. Let's actually take a quick look here at the switch before we fire it up. So this is completely removable. And I love these things too because it almost feels like it's a magic key that you need to use to fire up your saber. But so if you remove that, you can see the whole chassis will then be easily removed. Super easy to line up too. You'll see on a lot of sabers, they'll install buttons or some kind of slider switch or something like that on the outside. You have to use what you have here, so this was already drilled out, so it kind of fits perfectly right on top, locks right into place. Tap the button and you can see here too, nice and flush with the saber. Power it down, so let's throw a blade in here. Alright, so we have the blade installed here. So to install the blade is pretty simple. All you're going to do is just push the blade inside. You feel a little bit of tension on the pogo pins, which are right around this area, and then you just tighten down the blade of retention and then you're good to go. So let's fire it up. Got the camera zoomed out here so you can see a little bit more of the blade. Really cool with the windows here, so you get this cool effect, and awesome with this unstable. Looks amazing. Little Game of Thrones. So this is a blue fire blade.
If you have any last words, now is the time.
Really cool blade profile. As you move it around, the blade effect will change with the fire. And of course, you can see it through the windows there. The blaster effects. Of course, your smooth swing. So this is also a pretty cool blade effect. This is a green one, but it fires up a little differently. See if we can get it on here in focus. It's pretty cool. It shoots down from the top, hits the bottom, and then shoots back up. The tip drag. Lock up. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Can't wait to ship this one out to Semz Nerds over on the other side. And I hope he really enjoys this one. Had a lot of fun remaking this, and I know he had a lot of memories before, and I hope he has lots of new memories with this redesigned Manticore here. So as always, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Lots of new cool sabers coming down the road. And yeah, as always, take care and God bless.